Welcome to a tier list, everybody. Today I'm going to be ranking all the classes in TF2. Now just remember, I'm ranking them from an Xbox player's perspective, not a PC player, because the majority of the TF2 I played was on Xbox, not PC, so I don't have any of like the characters' other weapons. I only have like their base / like stock weapons that you always start with. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm because TF2 on Xbox doesn't have like weapon variants or stuff like that, so I'm ranking them based off like their stock weapons, not like their other weapon variants or whatever. So just remember, I'm ranking this from a TF2 Xbox player's perspective, not PC. I do play the game on PC, just not very much. Demo Man, oh boy, this guy's a powerhouse. I'd say maybe between A or S tier. It's hard to say. He's really good, especially with a good player. He is amazing. He's like hard to deal with. I'll put him in S tier. Mainly because, sure, at first it's a bit hard to use him, but if he's put in the right hands of a pro skilled player, you can dominate people. Like, he is just a powerhouse, and he is really good in the hands of a good player. Then again, like, any class is good in like the hands of a good player, but Demo Man is definitely one of them since he does require some skill to use, but he is a powerhouse indeed. Sniper, I'd say C tier. I want to put him in D tier because he's not exactly a weak class. He's just weak at like close range. But if you're like far from him, that's when he's dangerous. So I'll put him in C tier because he is dangerous, just only from long distances. Because he has a like his weapon can like charge up, so he can like deal more damage the longer the longer he stays zoomed in. So yeah, he's very weak when it comes to close range, but when it comes to far range, that's where he shines. Pyro. I'll put him in A tier. Now listen, Pyro on Xbox does not have Air Blast, so he can't really counter Demo Mans or soldiers. But he is still good at taking care of groups of enemies, as long as they don't really have a medic. And, well, just think of Pyro both have the Air Blast. He's basically the same. He can still hit enemies, like, you know, with... he can still hit multiple enemies at a time with his flamethrower. So, yeah, I'd say he's at least A tier. Good at taking care of groups of enemies, but I probably would have maybe put him higher if he had his Air Blast on the Xbox version, but he doesn't. Engineer. I would say... probably also A tier. In the Xbox version, he can't pick up his buildings and move them, and he cannot upgrade his teleporters or dispensers either. He can only upgrade his sentries, and if you have to move them, you have to destroy them and then rebuild them. So maybe B tier, since he is missing some of the features that's in the PC version. He is good at defense, but when you have like a pro Demo Man player and like a pro soldier player with like a medic with them, well, your chances aren't looking very high. Like, not very high at all. Scout. I would say probably also B tier. I'll put him like above engineer. Scout, he's well, he's fast and he can jump really. He can like double jump, which makes him hard to hit. But he can be hard countered by engineer sentries, which is why I'm at least putting him in B tier. Above engineer, maybe below engineer actually, because you know engineer sentries can like counter him because he can run fast, but he can't outrun engineer sentry bullets. That's for sure. Medic. I want to say between C or B tier. Like, yes, his healing and uber charge is really good, but he's really weak when it comes to like attacking and defending by himself. Like, if you're a medic and you're by yourself, you're not going to do very good like fighting back since you have a weak weapon lineup. His needle gun is not that strong, and his bone saw sure may be powerful, but you need to be close. And if it's a pyro, you don't really have a high chance of survival. So I'm okay. I think I'll put him in maybe B tier, C. Okay, here, how about this? We'll put him in C tier, but no, not D tier. We'll put him in C tier, but how about high C tier? We'll put him at the top of C tier. I'll put him above Sniper. Because, well, yes, he does have overhealth, so never mind, I'll put him in B tier, because he's the only character in the game that can slowly regenerate health over time. So, yeah, I'll put him in B tier, since he's the only character in the game that has health regeneration, and his supercharge is pretty powerful, so just make sure you don't waste it. There have been times where I accidentally wasted it, or there were times where a medic accidentally used it too soon. Soldier. Ooh boy, S tier as well. Used properly, just like Demo Man, if he's put in the hands of a skilled player, ooh boy, you are in for a rough time. Rocket launcher, he can rocket jump, especially if you're like going against a pro player who knows how to rocket jump correctly. Ooh boy, you're gonna have a hard time fighting him. Believe me, I went against pro Demo Man and Soldier players before. They are not easy to deal with at all. Because they know what they're doing. They know how to use those characters. So I'd say Soldier's S tier. Spy, I would say A tier. Mainly because, yes, he's good at countering Engineer, and he's also good when it comes to, like, going invisible and, like, just trick stabbing people. But here's the thing, though. It's kind of hard for him to keep up with, like, mobile classes like Scout and, like, rocket jumping and sticky jumping Demo Mans and, like, soldiers. And Medic can move, like, slightly faster than him, so he can't really catch up with medics that easily. But if you use your disguises properly, like just like with a pro player, if you put in the hand of like a good player, you better watch your back, because that's somebody you don't want to mess with. A good spy player, like I said, any class in the hands of a good player knows what they're doing, and this would be really good and hard to go against. But spy is a scary class, because he could pop out of anywhere, out of nowhere, and just backstab you and sap engineers stuff. So, though he's really weak offensively and defensively, if you know how to use him correctly, you know how to like go invisible at the right times and like disguise as the right characters and be in the right spots at the right time, boy, he is dangerous and scary to deal with because he can get you at any moment. You never know when he'll pop up, which is why whenever I know there's like a spy around here, I'm always like looking around, checking my back, looking side to side, making sure that there's not a spy around. And now Heavy. I would say, torn between A and B tier. Because he does have a powerful weapon, a minigun, so he can lay out enemies pretty easily. However, his minigun isn't that effective at long range, and he's slow in a big target, so he's easy to hit, and it's easy for spies to catch up to him and backstab him, and snipers can still instantly kill him with a headshot, so... How about... here, how about this? We'll make a tier just for him. B plus tier. How about that? Between A and B tier. If you guys can't decide which tier to put the character in, just make a middle tier and call it like C plus, B plus, A plus, whatever. Just make it like a middle tier for them. Because he is strong, so he can tank quite a few hits, and he does have a powerful weapon, but he's slow, easy to catch up to, can be easily picked off by snipers and spies, and his minigun isn't that effective at close range. So he's deadly up close and has a lot of health to spare, but when it comes to like far range, and when he's trying to get away, well, it's not very easy for him. Yeah, that's my tier list, guys. Remember, this is from an Xbox player's perspective. They don't have like the weapon variants and stuff on Xbox. And they don't have stuff like man versus machine on there either. They only have like capture the flag, and capture the point, and like so on. Like only 6 maps. So just remember that I'm not ranking them from a PC player's perspective. This is an Xbox player's perspective because the game is really different on Xbox. But if you play this game on PC, feel free to Tell me your opinion. Where would you put them on the tier list? Well, guys, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Have a nice day.